You know, this isn't just a story about a bank robbery. This is about a crime so perfectly planned, so flawlessly executed, that you'd swear it was ripped straight out of a Bollywood script. It's the true story of a heist that pitted some old-school criminal genius against the very dawn of new-school digital forensics.
Okay, so first things first, let's just wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this thing. 80 million rupees. That's in cash and gold. To put that into perspective, you could buy a whole fleet of luxury cars with that, or a handful of fancy apartments in Mumbai. This wasn't just a simple smash and grab. This was a life-altering jackpot.
And for weeks, the criminals were just ghosts. They left behind a crime scene so clean, it was like they were never even there. So how do they do it? I mean, how does a whole team of thieves just vanish into thin air, leaving the cops with no witnesses, no tripped alarms, and absolutely zero forensic evidence to follow?
And this is the part that completely stumped investigators and had the entire nation hooked. The one and only clue they had to go on was a hole in the floor. That's it. How on earth could an entire reinforced bank vault, stuffed with gold and cash, be completely emptied through one small, deliberate hole from underneath?
So let's set the scene. It's New Year's morning in Chelambra, a quiet little town in Kerala. People are just waking up, maybe recovering from the night before. Bank employees show up for what they think is just a normal day at work, and instead, they walk into absolute chaos. The air smells like concrete dust, and the strong room, it's just eerily silent and empty. In an instant, their small town becomes the center of a national media storm.
And here's where the genius of their plan really starts to show. See, they didn't just pick a random night. They used the long holiday weekend to their advantage. They knew that by starting on a Saturday, they had all of Sunday and the New Year's holiday on Monday completely clear. They had a huge head start before anyone even knew a crime had been committed.
So you have to be wondering, where do you even get an idea for a plan this audacious? Well, you're going to love this. It's a classic case of life imitating art. The four-man crew didn't just get a little inspiration from the hit Bollywood action movie Doom. They basically used it as their step-by-step instruction manual.
Let's just break this down, because you have to admire the nerve. It was a masterclass in patience. First, they did their homework, carefully scouting to find the absolute perfect, most vulnerable target. Second, they got the ultimate staging ground, the empty space right underneath the vault. Third, and this is the real masterstroke, they created a cover story so believable nobody would ever get suspicious. And finally, the quiet, careful execution.
And really, the absolute key to their whole plan was that fake renovation. It was brilliant. It's what allowed them to operate for weeks right under everyone's noses. They brought in furniture, they covered up the windows. To the outside world, it just looked like a new restaurant was about to open. The sound of their drills, oh, that was just the sound of construction. They were hiding in plain sight.
But, getting the money is only half the job. Now they had to disappear. And to do that, they were about to unleash a massive wave of misdirection that would send the police on a wild goose chase all over the country, buying them the one thing they needed more than anything else: time.
This move right here was just checkmate. They scrawled Jai Mao on the vault wall, a brilliant red herring. It immediately sent the police down this rabbit hole of political extremism, wasting precious days chasing a motive that didn't even exist, while the real criminals, who were just in it for the money, slipped further and further away.
And their web of deception was so intricate they were like ghosts in the machine. They were making fake calls from different cities to lay down false trails. They even deliberately left a tiny bit of gold in a hotel hundreds of miles away, just another breadcrumb leading to nowhere. Every single document, every ID, every transaction, it was all a complete fabrication.
But here's the thing. The criminals were masters of old-school deception. But the police? They were about to fight back with a brand new weapon, one that could see right through all the lies and expose the truth that was hiding in plain sight: technology. I mean, can you just imagine the frustration for the special police team? Days are turning into weeks. Every lead they chase just fizzles out. Every document they find is a forgery. The media pressure is building, the public wants answers, and this massive case is on the verge of going completely cold.
So they pivot. They decide to launch this digital manhunt on a scale nobody had ever seen before. They collected the data from 2.5 million mobile numbers that had connected to the cell towers near the bank. They weren't just looking for a needle in a haystack, they were looking for a single grain of sand on a vast digital beach.
So for weeks, they're just sifting through this mountain of data. And then they find it. A single, unregistered phone number
a digital ghost that had been used over and over again to communicate between all the key players. This was the one mistake they made. This was the digital thread that was about to unravel their entire plan.
And with that one piece of digital evidence, the whole house of cards just came tumbling down. The mastermind was arrested, his crew was rounded up, and the police recovered an incredible 80% of everything that was stolen. It was a huge win for technology, a win for justice, and really a testament to the patient, methodical work of the Kerala police.
But you know, the story doesn't just end with the arrests. The shockwaves from the Chelambra bank robbery are still being felt today, in how banks protect their money, and how police solve crimes, and yeah, even in the movies we watch. This heist became more than just a crime. It was a landmark moment.
I mean, this case was a total game changer. It basically became the textbook example that revolutionized digital forensics in India. It forced the entire banking industry to completely overhaul its security. And the story itself, this real-life thriller, became a cultural phenomenon, cementing the Kerala police's reputation for being some of the smartest investigators in the country.
So, in the end, it leaves you with this one big question, right? When life decides to copy a movie, who really gets to write the final chapter? Is it the criminals who lifted their script from the silver screen, or is it the investigators who used technology to write a totally unexpected ending? It just reminds you that sometimes the most incredible stories aren't the ones on screen, but the ones unfolding all around us.